I'd like to welcome you all to our Lunch Club Travel Edition, where every Wednesday at 12 we take you on a new trip to a new land, a new place, and every month we have a new theme for you all. So for November, our theme is culture. So it's Cultures Month for our travel edition of the Lunch Club. So today we'll be taking a journey to the Maasai culture. And thank you so much for attending our session today. So first up, again, just keeping things quite simple today. I just found some pictures of where the place is actually located. So, where the people are located, I should say. I'm learning as much as you all are doing today as well. So we're all in this together. The Maasai people are located in areas, as you can see, it says Kenya and Tanzania. So we talked about both of those countries in our sessions before. So I think it's quite interesting to look at just people and culture. And you can see that, again, there's the Maasai people are part of two different countries. So I'm assuming they're pretty diverse in their culture and people. So I really look forward to learning more about it. I think we always ask this for our sessions, but has anyone been to Kenya or Tanzania before on our call today? Okay, me neither. So again, I really look forward to learning more about the Maasai people. But from this map, I can see there's Mount Kilimanjaro. We all know about Mount Kilimanjaro, right? Have heard of that. Some of us may have heard of Nairobi in Kenya, very popular place. Serengeti, of course, Tanzania. And we learned about Dar es Salaam when we talked about Tanzania a few months ago as well. So it's good that we have some background information already here, but look at the shape of the Maasai people and where they're located. It's quite an interesting shape, right? So we're going to take a look more about these folks, but first let's see how to get there. So this is my Maps app right here. So just again, when you're using your Maps app, you can explore the world again just by zooming out, zooming in, really. So you can take a trip on any part of the world with your Maps app, but we're starting here in DC. And if we're going to Africa, if we're going to Kenya, Tanzania, I'm just assuming myself we're gonna go east. Do you all agree?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so again, just going across the Atlantic Ocean. I'm not sure if specific stops really for this particular trip, but just assuming we go east, we're looking for Kenya and Tanzania. So we may have a layover in Egypt or one of these countries here as well. So look at here, there is Tanzania, there's Kenya, there's Mount Kilimanjaro. So if we can see here, just assuming from the picture before, this is where the Maasai people are located. So parts of Kenya, parts of Tanzania, that really interesting shape. So again, with Google Maps, of course, you can go into more details for different places. Like, look, Kilimanjaro. If I tap on Kilimanjaro, it's a volcano. You can see more information about the place. So it's really interesting what you can do with the Maps app on your iPad. So of course you can use it for directions, but you can also, take journeys on it as well. So if I go back up here, let's Kilimanjaro's right there. If I move up north a little bit, there's Nairobi. Again, a very common place next to the Maasai people. So again, using the Maps app, you can check out different places in the world just at your fingertips, okay? So next up, we are going to watch a video on the history of the Maasai people. This was an excellent video. The comments in this video were great as well. So make sure you check it out on your YouTube app as well. But this is the history of the Maasai people.
What up, African Road? It's Home Team here, and welcome back to another video of African history, culture, and worldview. And welcome back to my series, A Closer Look. Today, we'll be taking a closer look at the Maasai people. By supporting this channel on Patreon, you're helping in the creation of these videos and supporting this content. If you'd like access to full courses and sources, or you simply want to show your support, you may do so by clicking the Patreon link in the description box below. The Maasai have a long tradition of pastoralism, though today some are adopting a more settled lifestyle, and they speak a language of the Eastern Nilotic Ma grouping, which also includes the languages of the Arusha and Baraguyu peoples of Tanzania. Maasai origins are pretty uncertain. However, some scholars believe that their ancestors migrated to the Rift Valley from what is now southern Sudan sometime before 1000 CE. These migrants practiced an agro-pastoral economy, growing sorghum and millet in addition to keeping cattle and other livestock. Most of them gradually adopted a strictly pastoral economy as they became dependent upon neighboring farming communities in the Rift Valley highlands. At its height, Maasai land ranged from Lake Turkana in the north to central Tanzania in the south. The Maasai have many oral traditions, but one of the primary ones speak about Naiteru. Naiteru is the originator of the Maasai people, if you will. Naiteru means beginner of the earth in Maasai. According to one version of the legend, the supreme god Ngai created Naiteru and his wife. Ngai then summoned Naiteru and his wife to the top of a mountain. Ngai gave them a cattle and told them to live on the mountain, and thus life began. Another version says after creation, Ngai sent Ntaru and his wife to live on earth with a few hundred cattle, goats, and sheep. Ngai entrusted all the bounty of earth to this first couple on one condition. They were commanded to guard all of nature and keep it well to pass it on to future generations. Naiteru and his wife had 3 sons and 3 daughters. The oldest son was given a bow and arrow with which to earn his living. He in turn became a hunter. This hunter is seen as a direct ancestor of the Kamba people. The second son was given a hoe with which to earn his living, and he became a farmer. This farmer is seen as a direct ancestor of the Kikuyu people. The third son, Lieo, was given a rod with which to earn his living. He used the rod to drive his father's cattle. Lieo became a herder and is seen as a direct ancestor of the Maasai people. The Maasai believe in one supreme god mentioned before as Ngai. This supreme god is androgynous, meaning both male and female. Ngai's primordial dwelling is located in northern Tanzania, and he created the forests, mountains, lowlands, and highlands. Natural forces such as rain, thunder, drought, and lightning act as gifts or punishments from Ngai. The Maasai god appears in 2 manifestations. Ngai Noruk, characterized by goodness and benevolence, is black, whereas Ngai Nyoki, the angry one, is red, like the British colonizers who disrupted Maasai life. Ngai Noruk is associated with the north and presides over rain, fertility, the sun, and love matters, whereas Ngai Nyoki is associated with the south and a vengeful attitude and behavior. Cattle is considered by the Maasai to be the greatest gift God has ever given humanity. In a sense, cattle possess the qualities of God and attest to God's greatness and generosity. Through the consumption of meat and the drinking of milk, God and human beings become one again. Thus, meat eating and milk drinking, through their recreation of this primordial unity, are religious experiences of the highest order. The consumption of meat and milk occur at the most important times in Maasai life, such as birth, initiation and circumcision, marriage and death, and on all critical occasions like rites of passage from one age set to the next. The Maasai were reputed to be fierce and disciplined warriors who could effectively defend their territory and stock, or raid the stock of other groups. Trading caravans from coastal areas were wary enough of the Maasai reputation to avoid Maasai land entirely. In the 19th century, however, Maasai subgroups participated in a series of wars over contested grazing rights. In addition, in the late 19th century, the Ilmasa fought the War of Moroji. This war unfortunately ended up debilitating Maasai military strength. A series of droughts and associated diseases in the 1880s and 1890s further weakened the Maasai people. Young Maasai males traditionally subsist entirely on milk, meat, and blood for their herds. Blood is obtained by making a vertical slit with an arrow in the animal's jugular vein in such a way that the wound can actually be closed again. Women, children, and older men customarily supplement their diets with agricultural products such as corn and beans. Maasai land sees 2 rainy seasons, a long rainy season from March to May and a short rainy season from November to December. Traditional Maasai society is governed by a series of age-based groupings, especially among males. Males between the approximate ages of 15 and 30 are junior Murin, or warriors, whose responsibility it is to protect the herds. During this period, the Murin live in separate areas called Manyata and are prohibited from marrying. After age 30, they become senior warriors for approximately 15 years. During this time, they live among the rest of the Maasai people and serve as a sort of home guard or guardian and have the option of marrying. Following this stage, men become junior elders. After another interval of about 15 years, they then become senior elders who make decisions for the entire group. Historically, the Maasai are pastoral, and the 2 distinct rainy seasons in the Rift Valley keep them moving with their herds in search of water and pasture. Land is traditionally considered communal. Wealth is determined by the number of cattle owned, and families brand their cattle to differentiate them. Traditional Maasai live in temporary camps called Nkang. Over time, the British began to romanticize Maasai lifestyle and warrior tradition, and this is partly why they became popularized in the rest of the world. The Maasai people adhered to their traditional way of life for quite some time, even after the British limited their range through the treaties of 1904 and 1912. Well, I'm a lot, guys. If you like these videos and want to help in its continued production, consider supporting the home team on patreon.com. The link is in the description box below. Know thyself, remember your ancestors. Peace.
Thank you all so much for watching that video. Any thoughts or comments on the video about the history of the Maasai people? Anything that stuck out to you? Anything that was different from maybe from some other groups that we've talked about in our sessions? Anything that sticks out to you? You can unmute and share your thoughts if you'd like. Anything that stuck out to you. Again, you can just hit unmute at the top and share your thoughts.
I like the fact that because of their strong traditions and beliefs, that they survived and even became romanticized by other people. And otherwise, they admired their lifestyle, even though they put limitations on it. They still survived through it. I found that was very interesting.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Mr. Leon. Yeah, their tenacity is definitely apparent. Any other thoughts on the video? It's quite interesting. You'll learn quite a more bit of fun facts for our session today, but that was quite interesting, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Again, after we watch the video, you can unmute and share your thoughts if you would like. Next up, I do have some fun facts, but I think we're going to watch another video. So again, I love, the YouTube app. That's how you can find many different information. I love watching different videos. So I thought it would be nice to, all right, Maasai tribe. Again, you can search up anything on YouTube, find some different videos. Here's one from 8 years ago, exploring the Mara, Maasai, the most famous tribe in the region. So let's see what this video has in store. Again, I'll be watching it with you all as well. So let's see what this video has to offer.
Most tourists who visit the Mara will likely hear a song like this one. They're handed down from generation to generation, songs of celebration, which lead to the famous jump.
Therefore, they have a jumping competition. Therefore, the Maasai Murani, they don't talk through direct to the girls. They do jumping competition. If you jump high, the more you get more girlfriend possible on different days.
Morans are traditional warriors, and they are always dressed unmistakably Maasai. Some of the outfit is purely decorative, but the rest is a survival kit for the wild.
The
animals are repelled by the color red. It is a traditional Maasai outfit, but also used to scare animals. And if the animal decides to attack, we can take it off, leave it on the ground to confuse the predator.
The shoes can last for years. They're made of car tires. The stick to rest on during hours spent herding. And that itch on your back you just can't reach? Well, there's a tool for that too. The traditional sword is usually used for slaughtering. Today, it's a base as I learn to make fire. It's not as easy as it sounds. I'm sure I would have gotten it if I kept on trying. I'm told not to worry because usually women don't have to do this. Women are meant to build homes. A frame of branches with ash, soil, and cow dung used to fill in the gaps. The mixture keeps away insects and it's quite waterproof. So this is how a standard Maasai Manyata looks like on the inside. On the right, there's some storage area for firewood. On the left, storage area for water. And straight ahead, a small room where they put up a calf so that in the morning they have sufficient milk from the mother. This is just to limit the amount of time the calf can suckle from the mother and ensure that they have milk for themselves in the morning. And straight ahead, this is the main living area, and as you can see, there's a kitchen there and a place to put their utensils. Pretty standard and simple, made of materials they can actually use and find locally, like wood, cow dung, and of course ash. This is one of the bedrooms, and you'll notice that it's made of soft olive branches that are intertwined together with wires, and there's a cowhide, and of course a little bed sheet. Looking at it, it looks uncomfortable, but actually, when you lie on it, it's pretty soft and cozy. Maasai also travel after grazing along with their cattle. In that, they share a trait with the wildebeest of the Great Migration. Sonny Methu, CCTV in the Maasai Mara.
Wow. What do you all think of that video? Any thoughts? Anything that stuck out to you? Especially the homes and how, you know, the women, they're the ones that build the homes in on the land. So that was just, you know, just amazing to see.
Yeah, the women build the homes, and the higher you jump, the more girlfriends you get. They said that, yeah, and it said that they wear red because the animals are repelled by the color red. That was interesting. That stuck out to me.
The house reminded me of the one that I grew up in. Just similar, with the palm branches for the roof, and the mud for the walls, and you mix the mud with the cow dung to bind it, and so I grew up in a home like that.
Okay.
Wow, that's you know, it just that whole process, you know, especially making it from hand, I know it requires resilience and, you know, a lot of effort, and you know, it just makes me appreciate what we have, you know, what we have here.
Of course,
it's
and those houses are so cool.
Yeah, but there's really not that much light that goes through. So,
right,
you know, the environment, you know, it's you know, I myself, you know, I do like a cooler environment. So it didn't look, you know, bare bones. It looked like it was made, you know, to live in and survive in, but you can appreciate what they put in there with the space they had available. They had the storage area and the water area, and then they just mentioned the cattle area. That was interesting. I don't think I've seen like an area in a person's home with a designated place like that. Right? So, and the bed, they had to be very creative, to be able to figure out to have those things. It just makes me feel grateful for everything that we have.
So true.
The one thing I recognize about it, their style of life is simple, and they're so happy with what they have that they don't wish to change. They kind of resist change. They want to stay that way. There's got to be a good reason why. More doesn't necessarily mean that you're better or happier. They seem to find a niche that really works for them, and they're staying with it.
Yes. One thing, researching for this session today, that the Maasai people and the modern world basically like not are two different things, but they're just different places in the world are at different parts of their journey. I'm talking about like people and countries and cultures, and again, we're in the U.S. and they're in a whole nother part of the world, and again, I agree with what you said. They seem very happy with what they have, so it just doesn't bring back the simple life, but
Alex, can I chime in if you don't mind? I finally made it on.
Oh, hey Lou, yeah, sure. What?
How are you? Got the travel hat on. So I want to thank the seniors for joining the call. So excited to present a program on the Maasai. I've got a number of videos. I love the comment that was just made because they really do prefer their lifestyle, and a lot of about the American way of life is very foreign to them and really not all that wanted by them. So it's really a beautiful thing, but that can't be said about all of the tribes in Africa. A lot of them have lost their ancestral ways, but the Maasai have not, and it's really wonderful that they have not.
Great. Thank you, Lou, so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. And so far, we watched a video on the history of the Maasai people, and we just watched that video of some of their home life and what has occurred. I know you have some videos on as well, but I'd like for us to go over some of these fun facts together. So these are 10 facts. So maybe I could read one, and then you could read the next one. So.
Can I interrupt you just for a moment, Alex?
Uh-huh.
Here at Washington Home, and I did want to take this opportunity to introduce Crystal to you. She is our biggest benefactor. Without Washington Home, this program would not be happening today. So, Crystal, if you can introduce yourself. Crystal Townsend from Washington Home.
Hi, everyone. I hope you all are enjoying your session, and I won't interrupt too long, Alex. I know you sounded like you were on a roll, but I just want to say thank you all, and you're in good hands, and we are just so proud to support the wonderful work and bringing technology to all. So continue and forge on, and happy learning.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Alex, I would like to say something. I admire their jewelry. And I assume they either make it or they buy it from somebody in their tribe that made it. It's not a store-bought item. And I just love their jewelry. That's all I have to say.
Yes, Lou, you've given out some prizes from the Maasai jewelry as well. So.
And Alex, I know I'm late, and I do apologize. I didn't have a whole lot of. It was important that I did stay at the other event. However, I do have some videos else I would love to show, if that's okay, because this is the Maasai culture in the words of the Maasai, and it's not through a media company. It was video that I took. I think our seniors would find it quite fascinating.
Okay, great. We're about halfway through, so we have about like 15-20 minutes for some videos. If you want to go over these facts together, just let me know. But yes, definitely some firsthand videos. I know you're really excited to present today, Lou. So I'm sure you can share your screen and we can check out these videos. I look forward to them. And thank you so much
Thanks,
for
Alex.
coming on again.
Thanks for covering for me here. I really appreciate that. So can you all see the screen here?
Yes.
Yep, you're good, Lou.
Yes.
As always, I
stop
forgot
sharing
to
your
share
screen
sound.
too.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I forgot to share the sound, so I'm not going to forget this time. So here we go again. So this is actually in northern Kenya. The Maasai are really prevalent in northern Kenya, western Kenya, and Tanzania. And this community is right on the Kenya-Tanzania border. This is what it looks like. It's generally a semi-arid plain, and this is a Maasai household, as narrated by a Maasai woman. And this woman has lived the same way her ancestors have lived for the last million years.
Here we are coming up on a Maasai Manyatta. Here's the woman who manages the Manyatta. Found out her husband recently died, so she's managing the entire Manyatta complex here. She does not speak English. Hello. Okay, let's look. Can we look inside? Please. Come. Thank you. She's going to show us inside a typical Manyatta complex. And these are the households here. Usually a woman will build the house in the complex, and the number of houses indicates the number of women in the complex. And now we can look at the next house, and this would be owned by another woman who's part of the family. So in the Maasai culture, it's generally polygamous, where the woman will build the homes, and then the husband, the man, would spend nights in different homes. Sometimes you get more than one family living in a single Manyatta complex. In this case, we have just one family, and again, the husband has passed away. So she is the senior woman in charge. This is probably...
I'm going to stop for just a moment because I wanted to mention something. I just got back from a trip in Tanzania last May, and we stayed in a Maasai village where our host had recently lost her husband. I knew her son, and she's one of the most wonderful women I've ever met in my life, an elderly woman. And she shared with me that her husband had 9 wives, and that he had, I can't remember how many children, about 50 children. So very innocently, I asked, and again, very innocently, and maybe I should have known better. I asked her how many children she had, and she said she had 9 children herself. So knowing that, her husband had many wives, I asked her, are all the children from the same husband? And she was so offended by that question that she wouldn't talk to me for the rest of the engagement together. And what I later learned is that the Maasai women are fiercely, fiercely loyal to their husbands from that perspective. And that in East Africa, I talked to some, my younger colleagues who are, some of them looking for wives, that they are, even if now in today's culture, most Africans in this area only have a single wife, but they're very sought after because they're known for being so hardworking, so loyal, such great mothers. So I wanted to share that as we're going through this video.
Probably the kitchen. Let's see if we can look down and see the fire pit. Oh yes, there's a fire pit. And let's see if we can go into an actual home here. So let's navigate back to toward the entrance. You'll see a pen, usually in the middle of the Manyatta complex, surrounded by thorny bushes. That keeps the animals inside the pen, and the animals are brought in the Manyattas at night so that they're not attacked by lions and other wild animals. Usually you have different pens inside the Manyatta complex for each different kind of animal. So this, as you can see, is the pen for the cows, and it's daytime here, so most of her cows are out grazing. But if we look off to our right, we'll find the pen for the goats. And let's see if we can identify the pen for the goats. Yes. So goats and cows are the primary form of sustenance for this pastoralist Maasai community, really for all Maasai. All right, let's see if we can have a look inside of one of the houses. Okay, I believe this is the matriarch's household. It's the largest house in the complex. It's going to be quite difficult to film inside because of the darkness. Minyattas will typically have a small entry door that has a sharp hairpin turn inside because of the prevention of animals, lions especially, from getting inside of the home. So let's see if we can go inside. Let's see if it's possible. Okay. And this is going to be very difficult. Yes, and it's actually complete darkness inside. So we will have to get some lighting to come inside. But this is it. And you can see there's a very tight entryway, which is designed to prevent predators from entering into the home. All right. Well, thank you very much. And let me get a...
Great. Any thoughts about the video, folks? Comments, thoughts? Alex, I'm not sure if you already covered some of that material.
Oh, I mean, no, Lou, you were right there. I mean, that was, I think everyone that's on the call, just definitely got a big treat and just to see in person, the culture and the people. So now, you don't see that every day.
Mm-hmm. They didn't.
Any thoughts? Go ahead.
They didn't show where they used the bathroom. And
good point.
it's dark like that all the time. And like at night, I guess it's pitch black.
So I have an interesting story. So I was working at World Vision for a while, and we tried to start up an initiative to bring solar lighting to the Maasai. So you can imagine, with all the sunshine out there, that these solar lights, which are pretty inexpensive, you put a small panel on the roof, and now you got lighting both during the day and at night. And it makes sense, right, folks? We thought this is going to be an easy win, but I think I talked to some of you about this before, but it didn't work. Can anybody guess why it didn't work?
Well, the lions might come in for one thing.
Well, that's a good guess, but that wasn't it. But that's a darn good guess. Anything else? You'll never guess it. You'll never guess it.
The light attract bugs.
That's exactly right, almost. So what did you look at the roofs of their houses? Those roofs are made mainly of straw and soil.
Oh, okay.
Burned down.
And in that soil, there are so many bugs. If you lifted your hand out, you swear there was an ant farm in there. The whole thing was an ant farm. But the reason the ants and those bugs don't go inside the manata is because they're burning wood inside for light all the time.
Okay.
And that smoke keeps the
Okay.
bugs out of the manata. So when they put that fire out and they lit up that solar lamp, their manatas became uninhabitable because they were so full of bugs. So
Okay.
can you imagine that?
Wow.
Yeah.
I had a question.
Yeah.
That the senior woman, even though you can see in the lines in her face that she has some age on it, she looked very healthy. What did she disclose her age?
That's a really interesting question. No, she didn't. But in my last trip, there was a gentleman who was there. He was the patriarch of the family. He was 115 years old.
Oh my gosh.
100, and I said, "Are you sure this guy's 115?" I mean, he looked old. Don't get me wrong. But I mean, a lot of that comes from the good food that they eat. There's no preservatives. Everything is fresh. They raise all the fruits and all the vegetables and all the animals completely without chemicals. And I'll tell you, when I go there and I come back, I was just sharing this even just an hour ago. When I go there and come back, I feel healthier. And it gets me to say, whoa, what are we eating in this country? And we had Margaret, Alex, remember Margaret?
Yes.
She was our, do you know, she pulled me aside before she left and she said, I don't feel very good with the food I'm eating here. She was a pharmacist. And she said, I went ahead and looked at the label and she said, who is monitoring all these chemicals that you guys put in your food? And I said, yeah. And I said, well, I don't really know, and that's not my thing. I'm a digital equity guy. So I asked a buddy of mine who works at FDA. I live in Silver Spring, which is near FDA headquarters. I asked a friend of mine that question. I said, who is monitoring all these chemicals that are going into our food? And he told me that nobody, that the food companies do that. The only time the FDA gets involved is if Congress tells them to get involved. In other words, there becomes a known issue that is scientifically proven to be, a problem. Otherwise, there's really no controls. So it's a little bit of a scary situation.
Lou, do you have anything showing them preparing their food, cooking outside, which I'm sure they do outside the home?
Well, let's talk to Naomi for a second. This woman's one of my very best friends in.
Yes.
In our Maasai culture too, a man can marry even 8 women. Like my father was having 8 wives, and he has got about 52 children. And again, our Maasai women are the ones who work more than months, because the houses, they make houses, and again they look food for their children, because a woman can make these beans and get a little thing to bring flour for the children, and again he can take milk and sell somewhere and get money to buy food. So if you look, the Maasai women used to work and get school fees for their children. So we need to get a market so that we can sell everything like this one and get money to sponsor our children at school. Because we need nowadays to get children learning to school, but we don't have money to take them to school because we don't have any work. A child can go through 1 up to Form 1. He came home to stay at you because we don't have money for school fees. So we are very happy to get somewhere to sell our these things, so that we can take our children to school and we can feed them very nicely because that is, you know, if a mother don't have water food for the children, it is very, very bad. Because you know the child, no mother more than father. Because the mother feed the child, but the man are just going around and come back home and look for the food. So we need to get something to do for our villages.
Do you all know what she's talking about? I don't think you do. She leads a group of Maasai women who make jewelry. And this is their only way of getting money to pay school fees, because the school's not free in Kenya and Tanzania. At least it wasn't when I did this. They have to pay school fees. So unless they get money, their children are illiterate. And as I mentioned, Maasai women are notorious across Africa for being, you know, phenomenal mothers, giving their hearts and souls and everything for their families. And so these women work tirelessly making and selling jewelry. So all the jewelry that we've given away comes from this group of women. And you know what, folks? If anybody on this call is interested in selling that jewelry, I still have a whole lot more of it left. You know, let's talk, because we can maybe come up with a program where you know, create like a club or something where you all keep like half the revenue and the other half I send back to these women. And I must have close to 1,000 pieces of their jewelry. So you know, let me know, put it in the chat if you're interested in doing this. We tried selling it in one of the flea markets downtown, and it moved pretty good, but it was really labor intensive. I mean, it took a lot of work. But put it in the chat if you're interested in at some point we'll follow up, or at least I'll follow up. We got a lot on our plates now with, you know, cutting staff and everything, but at some point I'll follow up with you.
Did they, at one point she was talking about how they used to sell their meat to make revenue, but now they sell jewelry as their primary source? Okay.
For cash. And she goes on, and we can play more, but I want to branch to another video. So what we did with this community is we brought in a computer center so as to improve their education and to improve their communications. And for about 2 years, they wouldn't even go in the center because they thought it was witchcraft. You know, how are you doing this? This is, you know, voodoo or not good. But after 2 years, they really embraced it. So I want to show you a quick video of that. So give me just a moment. And any other questions while I'm navigating to that video?
Where do they get the gems that they make the jewelry with? Where do they get those gems?
Yeah, they make them themselves, and they also buy them from dealers who provide them.
I see.
Yeah, so it comes from sort of both. Any other questions?
I know I have aides as my help, my caregivers. And I told them I wanted to learn their culture where they can learn my culture. And one of my aides told me she had her kids late in life. She's around 40 and she has young elementary kids. She said she had to go to school first. And if you didn't go to school, they would talk about you because the education costs money. And she went on to college and she got all her education and she had her kids last. And that was very interesting to me because we're kind of like opposite. It depends. Have your kids young, and even if you go to college, you still have your kids young.
Yeah, that's a really good point that you brought up. Thank you for sharing that.
I
Alex,
have
I
a
don't know if you
question, Lou.
Yes.
How far is the Maasai, where they live, from Dar es Salaam, the largest city in Tanzania? Is that?
It's sort of far. It's on the opposite side of the country. So Dar es Salaam is on the Indian Ocean on the far east side of the country.
Yes.
And the Maasai communities are more on the west, the northwest, along the border between Kenya and Tanzania. We're near Mount Kilimanjaro, but all in that area, crossing both countries.
I see.
But and by the way, Yo brought up a really good point about the young girls, and this is a real, this is sort of a downside maybe. And even the women I talked to there said it was a downside. That what happens is that a lot of older men will marry younger women, sometimes much younger women. We had many cases where someone old enough to be someone's grandfather, would marry a girl, not his granddaughter, but someone old enough to be his granddaughter. And the girls didn't like that so much. The parents were the ones that agreed to the marriage. Yeah. She didn't have a lot of choice, so she really didn't want to marry this old dude, So, but they got married anyway. And what happens is that back in the day, have you ever heard the term FGM? It's it's sort of gruesome to even talk about. It's called female genital mutilation.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that still happens today, though it's far less prominent. Where and so that would happen to a girl when she was quite young, during a ceremony, sort of like a circumcision kind of ceremony.
Yes.
When she came of age, and so that's going away. But less going away as these older guys marrying these younger girls, although that's also going away because the girls didn't like that, and at least the ones I talked to. Although Naomi didn't mind. Naomi met the women you saw there. She didn't mind at all. So yeah, I guess she told me a story that she wanted her husband to have multiple wives because for him to have a stature as a man, he needed to have multiple wives, and she didn't want him to have a low stature in the community.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So, and again, this, Maasai women are really something to behold. So, really, there's lots of perspectives on this.
And to make this jewelry, are there natural resources such as whatever they make the jewelry out of? Does that area have natural resources that they harvest to make the jewelry?
Yeah, so a lot of the jewelry is made out of a cowhide string. Increasingly, it's out of wire. I doubt if they're melting metal down. I'm sure they buy the wire from somewhere. The beads, a lot of it, they make glass beads. Some of the beads they buy from bead dealers. But they actually string all of it. I'm going to play you a video here that'll show you them doing this.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
In this center, we have a number of services which are actually scarce or there before this center is set. They were completely not available, but at the moment we have them. So I have seen a lot, which I can say it is a transformation of this community.
So that's the computer center we built. I'm going to scan past this and get to where the women are doing the jewelry making, unless you all want to see it.
Yes.
In this community, the higher population constitutes women. Most of them are the breadwinners of the community, of their families. Their main activity is beadwork, whereby they make beads as you see them making now.
So what's interesting is the women all sit together like this. It's almost like a Zen kind of a thing. And you know, I get it, because when we refurbish computers at WildTech, it's just like this. A bunch of us are together. We're pumping memory chips in. We're formatting hard drives. I mean, it's just like a Zen experience. And so, you know, it's very, very sociable and, you know, very, very camaraderie building for these women to do this. It's almost the hearth of their community is making jewelry.
Is beadwork, whereby they make beads as you see them making now.
The main problem with us, we don't have market to sell our beads. So we just make them. Sometimes we get people from outside, they just buy. We use others for our decoration or just our smartness. So if we get the market, we could be very happy. So please try to help us. That's the only problem we have.
We are.
So did you hear what she said? Did you see how they live? You saw how they live.
I was saying about these incels that are, you know.
She said that that's the only problem we have. Isn't that fascinating?
Yes, very fascinating.
They love their life there. You know, they just need to make money in order to get school fees and things.
Mm.
Yeah. Are any comments so far in the video?
Whoa.
Okay. Well, Alex, I think
I like the way that they came together as a community, and they work together. You can see the wisdom in that, because them working together as a community, they can pass on skills to make the product that they build more attractive and better designed. You know.
You're so right. Well, gosh, I just checked the clock. I didn't realize it was that late. Sorry, Alex, can I blaze through my trivia real quick, if that's okay?
Sure, Lou. Thanks so much for coming on and presenting these different videos for us. Really appreciate it. So while you get your slides up, if you would like to answer Lou's question, I'm assuming they're all free response. So whoever gets it right first, you'll be in the running for a prize. Today, if you'd like to answer a question, please raise your hand in Zoom. So I want everyone in Zoom to please raise their hand. You can hit more at the top right and then tap on raise hand, or you can hit reactions at the bottom and then tap on raise hand. So again, I want everyone in Zoom to please raise their hand. And if you get a trivia question correct, you're in the running for an iPad accessory prize today, or a jewelry prize. I think that's what we'll be doing today, Lou, as well. So again, just by participating, you could win a prize. So thank you. We have 6 hands so far.
All right.
All right.
We good, Alex?
Yeah, you can share your screen, Lou. So again, don't forget to raise your hand if you'd like to answer these questions. Don't forget to lower your hand afterwards so we can make sure we hear from you folks, okay?
Great, thanks, Alex. Hold on, let me just share screens here. I did want to play something real quick. You got to see that you can't visit a Maasai community without watching them dance. So. Okay, let me jump to the other thing here. The tribe is very much known for the hopping when they dance. And so that's one thing I just want you to see. So let me share my screen now, and let's get this show on the road. Everybody sees it okay?
You're good, Lou.
So this is a group of Maasai practicing their hopping in their traditional dance. First question. What does the color red symbolize for the Maasai? Anybody know? This is a good Google question.
Okay, Geraldine, what do you say?
They wear red to keep the animals away.
You know, that is actually true, but that's not the answer that I have, but she actually deserves to win. They did a test where they had somebody walk through a field with lions wearing brown and someone walking through a field of lions wearing red, and the lions ran away when the person was wearing red and hung around when the person was wearing brown. So, you know, a million years of living with lions, those lions are afraid of the Maasai. So let's give it to you. This is what Google said, but I have heard the answer you had. Here's what Google said: bravery, unity, blood, and associated with my Maasai ethnicity. The Maasai they're known for being fierce warriors. If you read the book about there's lots of books about the Maasai. They're fierce warriors and they're big people. They're tall. They're big. Okay, next.
Thank you, Geraldine.
Okay.
What is the name of the checkered robe the Maasai wear? This one's harder.
And any takers, please raise your hand. We just need the name of the checkered robe that the Maasai wear. Any takers? Okay, Brenda, what's your answer?
Is it the Shuka? S-U-K-A?
Bingo! Congratulations,
Brenda.
Okay.
Congratulations, Brenda.
Thank you.
Next question. What is the name of the traditional Maasai warrior who protected the tribe and upholds the traditional customs?
I think this was mentioned in a couple of videos as well. So any takers for this question? Raise your hand. We have Geraldine and Miss Brenda so far. Okay, Mr. Leon, what do you say?
I think he was called a senior warrior when he came into the household, married, and took up protection of the household. No? Okay.
I'm sure that's probably true, but that's not the word I'm looking for.
But thank you, Mr. Leon. Yvonne, what do you say? Just need the name.
Are they called Moran? M-O-R-A-S?
Good job.
Maasai Moran?
Good job.
And this picture, I took time to find this picture. The Maasai Moran are very proud people. I have an interview with the Maasai Moran, and he looks like this guy. You know, you could just see the pride and respect on his face.
Yes.
And it's, you know, it gives me the chills just looking at it because it reminds me of the Maasai Moran. All right, next question. What is the purpose for hopping when the Maasai dance?
Again, please don't forget to lower your hand and mute yourself after you answer. This is the last question, right, Lou?
Yep, that's it.
Okay, Geraldine, keep your hand up. Any other takers? And so far, we have 3 potential winners so far. Any other takers? Okay, Louise, what do you say?
I say the higher they jump, that's the more girl they can have. Girlfriends.
That's a good one, but that's not the question. That's not the answer I'm looking for. That's probably true, to be honest with you. It's like any star athlete, right? They attract the opposite sex.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Louise. Let's see. Okay, I know we have our 3 correct answers so far. Any other takers? Any other takers for this question? Please raise your hand. Again, use your resources, use your iPad to help you answer this question.
If we don't get anybody else, Alex, let's give it to her, because that's, even though that's not what Google said, I think it's probably true.
We'll take one more. Okay, so Anne, what is your answer? And we'll decide between the two.
They said it's the mating dance. It's becoming of age in the mating. That's what it says on Wikipedia.
Which is sort of like the first answer, right?
Yeah.
Here's what Google says. For Maasai warriors to train for combat, display their stamina, agility, and power. I mean, that's like a mating thing, right?
Yeah.
So what do you say, Lou? What do you say for?
I'd say the first person said it was finding a girlfriend or finding a mate. I mean, I think that's probably, that was the first answer. I think they're both true, but we had somebody raise their hand first, so let's go with the first one.
Okay, good. Thank you, Louise, and thank you also, Anne, for answering. Really.
Yeah, no problem. Because
yes, thank you so much, Anne. We really appreciate it. So thank you so much for coming up with these questions, Lou. They were really informative, and we really appreciate you putting it together. Thank you. And now we are going to raffle off our prize. So 1 second. Yeah, so again, Lou, the prize for today is a necklace or a bracelet. Is that right?
Today, okay. Oh no, hold on. What happened with it? Well, so I actually have a Christmas ornaments that I'm giving out now. From now into the holiday. Actually, I shouldn't say. I'll call it holiday ornaments. Holiday ornaments.
Okay.
Holiday ornaments.
Okay, well, thank you so much for those, Lou. So we'll see who wins one of those today. We have our 4 correct answers. Again, thank you all for participating. We have Miss Geraldine, Miss Brenda, Miss Savannah, and Miss Louise, and they're running for a holiday ornament today. Let's see who gets it. All right, good luck, good luck, good luck. All right, it's gonna be close. And it goes to Geraldine. Congratulations, Geraldine. Thanks so much for
Hey, thank you.
Thank you. Really appreciate you coming on. Congratulations, Miss Geraldine. And thank you, Lou, for coming on to our session today. We hope you liked our first culture session today.
I liked it. Alex, that was a great idea you had of doing this. I loved it. How about everybody else?
Thank you. Yes. And thank you so much, Lou. We'll see you next Wednesday for our next visit to another culture. And I'll see you all at 1:30. Thank you so much, you all.
Thank you, Lou.
Thank you. Thank you
Very
again.
interesting.
Thank
you.
See you at 1:30.
Okay.
Bye.
See you at 1:30.
Bye-bye.
How far are we?